So now, folks, I have shown you where Sukhasiddhi, she sold where she took rice from in Pohe, and then she made wine and sold wine in Matasi. Matasi means to drink or to get drunk. So one day while she was selling, Sukhasiddhi was selling wine, a lady called Avdhutipa Ma came from the Tibetans write Maharashtra. She came from Maharashtra because she was the consort of Virupa, a Mahasiddha called Tibetan Mahasiddha called Virupa. Now, of course, he was a Bihari, but now she came she was in doing sexual yoga with Virupa in Maharashtra, in a forest. But Maharashtra is again, the Tibetans, throwing the words around. It's not Maharashtra, it's Maharat. Just next to Matasi is the village of Maharat. It's around 1 or 2 kilometers away from Matasi. So, she comes from Maharat to buy alcohol for Virupa. And when, Sukhasiddhi hears that the alcohol is for Virupa, she supplies it for free. She refuses to take money. So that lady, she takes the alcohol to Virupa, and when Virupa realizes that she is bringing the alcohol free, he asks her who she is. And she says that Avdhuti Ma says that she is one of Virupa's followers, and she respects Virupa a lot, so she gives the alcohol for free. Now basically Virupa is affected, and he decides to give his teachings to Sukhasiddhi in return for the attention and the love she gave him. And he makes her his quiet consort. So she, she sort of pairs up with him, and she starts living, and then she goes east. She goes east. The Tibetans say go west, but the names of the places are found to the east. So Virupa gives Sukhasiddhi his teachings, and now basically there are two options of Virupa's home. There are two options of Virupa's home. Again, the Tibetans, throwing, taking names from all across India. Another option is Telangana. And the another option is Maharashtra. Now, Maharashtra, I have showed you, it is Maharat, because Maharat is just a kilometer from Matasi, where she was selling alcohol. So, and the second option is Telangana. Now, that is in Telangana, folks. Now, Telangana, where in South India, around 3,000 kilometers away. Yeah, the story doesn't make sense then. So basically, it is actually Tetarhat. Tetarhat, because the names that are connected with Sukhasiddhi are villages next to Tetarhat. So what happens is Sukhasiddhi, she goes east, not west. The Tibetan says she goes west. No, she goes east. Because the Tibetans think, Oriana is in the Swat Valley. And I have proved several times that Oriana, there was no place called Oriana, it was Urgain of the 7-line prayer, which is Urain village. Now that is towards the east. And the names that are connected with Sukhasiddhi are towards the east. So, what do you call it? She goes to a place for, palm trees high. It is at the height of 4 palm trees she reaches attainment, and with Virupa's blessings and his practices, she, at the age of 61, she starts looking 16. At the age of 61, she starts looking 16. So there is a village over, sort of north of Tetarhat, northwest of Tetarhat, around 8 kilometers northwest of Tetarhat, called Satsanda. Satsanda means, beautiful at the age of 60. Satsanda means beautiful at the age of 60 or beautiful at the age of 61. So that is where she started looking, at the age of 61, she started looking 16. Now, so she was, it is like this, she was thrown out of the house at the age of 59. And then, she got the teachings from Virupa at the age of 60. And she, at the age of 61, she started looking 16. That is Satsanda. Now, according to Tibetan texts, she started living 4 palm trees high. That's, that is Satsanda Pahad, Satsanda Hill. And just next to Satsanda Hill, on the other side of the highway, is a small hillock. It is, a crop of rocks which go up, and it's around 30 or 40 feet high. Rocks go up like a stupa. And it was on top of that she sat down and looked at her followers from that height, with with knowledge in her eyes, with a lot of knowledge in her eyes. That is Gyan Sagar. Gyan Sagar is the place where the outcrop was for palm trees high. Yeah, it is Gyan Sagar, and there is a lake called Gyan Sagar. There is a lake called Gyan Sagar. Anyway, check out the satellite picture of Gyan Sagar and Satsanda. Check out the satellite picture of Satsanda, where she, at the age of 61, she started looking 16. See, this is a close-up of Matasi. Close-up of Matasi. See, this is Jai Baba Siddhanath Shiv Mandir Matasi. Jai Baba Siddhanath. Who's Siddhanath? Who's Siddhanath? Sukhasiddhi. Siddha is short form of Sukhasiddhi. And Siddhanath. Nath means master of Sukhasiddhi. Who was master of Sukhasiddhi? Virupa, folks. So this village, Matasi, where she used to sell alcohol, prays to Virupa as their main village deity. He is Siddhanath. Siddhanath means the master of Siddhi, Sukhasiddhi. That is Virupa. Now we must see where Sukhasiddhi at the age of 61 started looking 16. So the yogini returned to the market and asked the old woman, "Will you come?" The old woman felt very inclined to go, so she accompanied the girl to meet him, bringing with her a jug of beer and some pork. She took that for Virupa. During that meeting, Virupa bestowed upon her fully the secret practice, the empowerments of the Nirmankaya chakra at the navel. He also taught her the generation phase, completion phase, and secret practices along instructions, magnetizing activity. She transformed into a wisdom Dakini right at that time. At the time she was thrown out of the house by her husband and children in Kashmir, in Kumar, she was 59 years old. When she came to Oregon and established herself as a beer seller in Matasi, she was 60. When she met Birwapa and requested empowerment, she was 61. Then in the course of that one night, her 61-year-old physical body purified itself and transformed into a youthful, attractive, very white rainbow body. Her silken hair flowed down her back. She became as beautiful as a 16-year-old maiden, ravishing to behold, and sat up in the sky for 7 days. Ravishing to behold. So she was a 16-year-old maiden at the age of 61, ravishing to behold, and sat up in the sky for 7 days. Now where is this? See, this is up here. See, this is Maharat is here, where she met Virupa, and she became his silent consort. And this is the place Tetarhat, which has been mispronounced by Tibetans as Telangana, where Virupa ate a pigeon. So that is Tetar. Tetar is a pigeon. And this is Satsanda. Satsanda means to look beautiful at the age of 60. Satsanda means to look beautiful at the age of 60. And she sat for 7 days in the sky. See, this is this hillock up here. This hillock up here, she sat on this hillock in the sky for 7 days in the sky. So folks, this is Satsanda, where she looked 16 at the age of 60.
This is an aerial view of Satsanda, folks. This is an aerial view of Satsanda. You see, this is the place where at the age of 61, she started looking as beautiful and ravishing as 16. At the age of 61, she started Sukhasiddhi started looking beautiful and ravishing and beautiful. Basically, that is what Satsanda means. Sat means at the age of 60 and Sanda Sundar. Satsanda is looking beautiful at the age of 60. So folks, this was a blessing by Virupa, that she became so young and thick. So that is Satsanda for you, where she looked ravishing at 60. Folks, I am in the village. This is me in Satsanda village, where Sukhasiddhi, she looked ravishing at the age of 16. And basically, she is the village deity, and Virupa is also the village deity up here. He is prayed to as Chaturbhuj Maharaj. Chaturbhuj Maharaj, and this is Satsanda, where Sukhasiddhi looked 16 at the age of 61.
Sukhasiddhi's appearance was now that of a beautiful 16-year-old girl. She was white in color with her hair flowing down her back, her eyes tired of beholding her because she was that beautiful. The beauty dwelt in the sky. She became known as Sukhasiddhi Dakini of magical illusions. This Dakini was now Virupa's secret consort, She was extraordinary victor. She still dwells in the sky 6 times, and she looks with eyes of divine wisdom upon the beings of the three realms. Now she looks down at her followers with eyes of divine wisdom. That is Gyan Sagar. Divine wisdom is Gyan Sagar. See, this is the place Satsanda where she looked 16 at the age of 60, and this is middle school Gyan Sagar. This is Gyan Sagar, means with eyes of divine wisdom. Gunsagar. Gunsagar is eyes of divine wisdom. So, and this is just next to Tetarhat where Virupa used to live, where he ate a pigeon. So folks, this is what do you call it, where Sukhasiddhi would live for palm trees high, and what do you call it, this is the lake on which Virupa walked, which was called the lake of divine wisdom, that is Gyan Sagar, Gunsagar. Divine wisdom is Gunsagar. So this is where Khyungpo Naljor also lived, stayed as a secret consort of Sukhasiddhi, and according to him he had sex
This
with
is
her.
Tetarhat. This is Tetarhat. Tetarhat, where Virupa used to stay, which Tibetans have what do you call it, pronounced and thrown around in Telangana. See, where Maharashtra and where Telangana. Basically, it is Tetarhat because, according to Tibetan texts, Virupa, he ate a pigeon and he was thrown out of Somapura monastery. So Tetar is a pigeon. Tetar is a pigeon. So Tetarhat is where Virupa used to stay, where he ate a pigeon. So folks, this is a temple in Tetarhat, and now this is the bazaar in Tetarhat. This is the bazaar in Tetarhat. This is where Virupa would stay. It is just next to Gunsagar, where Sukhasiddhi would look down with what do you call it, wise eyes. This is the Gunsagar lake, folks. This is the Gunsagar lake on which Virupa walked across. This is the Gunsagar lake across which Virupa walked across, and what do you call it, he got all the what do you call it, knowledge that could be got when he walked across this lake. So this lake is a lake full of knowledge. Gunsagar means a sea of knowledge. Tibetan texts state that Sukhasiddhi, what do you call it, she started looking 16 at the age of 61, and she would sit high in the sky, four palm trees high, and look down at her followers with what do you call it, deeply knowledgeable, with a sea of knowledge, that is Gunsagar. So this is Gunsagar mountain, folks. This is Gunsagar mountain, and the highest peak, that is where Sukhasiddhi would sit, which is what do you call it, 4 palm trees high, and she would sit and look down at her followers with the what do you call it, with the eyes of, with a sea of knowledge. She would look down at her followers with a sea of knowledge and impart that knowledge to her followers. That is Gunsagar, folks, next to Satsanda. See, this is the place where she would sit, and see the other picture, what do you call it, that is Gunsagar. This is Gunsagar village below the mountain, and that is Gunsagar, and the highest peak is the one which Tibetan texts write about. She sat on that and looked down at her what do you call it, followers with highly knowledgeable what do you call it, with a sea of knowledge. And Tetarhat, where Virupa used to stay, is just 2 kilometers away from this place. So you see, she was his silent consort. So it was natural that they would be living close